Hi everyone, so this is the most exciting lesson ever. You're going to learn to edit. Okay, here's the deal. You have to learn to love editing because you're going to be doing it a lot. When you first write a paper, it is not finished. Even if you type the last word, it is not finished. It's never finished. You have to go back through. Even when you're in a timed test, you need to read back through it and make sure it's okay. Now, in a timed test situation, it needs to be done more quickly, which we are going to practice later, but it always needs to be done. Okay, and honestly, professional writers do this. Novelists that, Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, they edit, and then they have teams of editors that go through and edit, and then they edit again. It's like this never-ending process, and I feel like sometimes I'm editing more than I'm writing. But the fact of the matter is that you enjoying it or you hating it is really based upon your outlook on it. So it's just better to have a good outlook, learn an appreciation for making your writing the best it can be. So look at it that way. This is your chance to really make your writing shine. So enjoy it because you're bettering your writing, and what could be better than that, right? Ice cream cone, but that's okay. In this case, editing. Okay, so the first step, I want you to read it through, and as you read it through, I want you to focus on, does everything in my paper back up my thesis statement? Okay, if it does not, maybe you need to rewrite some sections or take some things out, or maybe you even need to rewrite your thesis statement. It is okay to rewrite your thesis statement after you've already been writing. Happens all the time. Do not be afraid to delete things in your paper, okay? So the second thing is go through then each paragraph and make sure that each paragraph's topic sentence backs up the thesis statement. Then make sure that all the sentences in each paragraph back up the topic sentence within each paragraph. And that way everything should be in order. Okay, then you're gonna put it away for a little bit. Here's why I say that. People, when you write things, you have in your head what it is supposed to say, right? But sometimes it doesn't say that, and you don't pick it up until you've had some time away from it. So an important step, put it away for a little while, maybe 2 days. Give yourself a break. Of course, you can't do that in timed ones. You just have to do your best. But you need that break so that your brain can clear out and think about other things and then go back and edit. So you're going to read it aloud, okay? I need you to read it out loud. When you read it out loud, you're going to pick up things because things are going to sound awkward to you, okay? When something sounds awkward to you, that means you need to work on it a little bit. So that is honestly the easiest way to pick up on grammatical errors is to read it out loud. So go through and get rid of things. Go through and reword things. Also, when you're looking at your sentences, if there are words in your sentences that are not needed, delete them. The word very, you don't really need very. Either, like if something is very beautiful, either it's beautiful or it's not. Very doesn't add anything to that. Okay, the word that a lot of times is not really needed. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. So what you need to do is read each sentence and target those words that if you got rid of them, the meaning of your sentence would not change. Okay, so you need to look for that. And that's kind of hard to do because we use these words that we don't need all the time. It's how we speak, but this is writing and this is academic writing. So get rid of them, delete them. Okay, so after you do that, you need to put it away again, and not for as long this time, but do put it away. Then when you get it back out, what you need to do is either have your computer read it to you or have someone in your house or a friend read it to you. This is kind of like the same theory as before with you reading it yourself and you're finding awkward things. If you do that, you're going to hear what they're saying and more awkward things will jump out at you or more grammatical problems will jump out at you. So then you can make changes based on that. And I'm telling you, you might think because I read it out loud here, I don't need to have somebody read it to me here. I'm telling you right now, in every single thing that I write, when someone else reads it to me, I find errors. truthfully, you need to do that. Okay, so then after you do that and you fix everything, and that's going to take you a little while because you're like, wait, stop reading, and you're going to fix it. Okay, then after that, you need to go through and make sure all your spelling and punctuation is correct. Obviously, it's easy because Word kind of tells us when they're not correct, but Word's not always correct in its notifications either. So you need to be aware of that. Just be aware that if sometimes Word telling us to do something is not actually the correct thing to do. I'll try to find examples of that for the future. But for spelling, it generally picks up spelling, but don't always trust it because sometimes there are homophones that are not the correct word that your computer will choose. Also, if you're writing longhand for a test, the best way to do this to check spelling is to go through the paper backwards, go through each line backwards. And when you're reading the way you normally would, your brain doesn't always pick up misspellings. But if you're reading it backwards, instead of looking at the content and the sentence itself, it's just looking word by word. Okay, so you're more able to pick up misspellings that way, which is a really good thing. And then after that, and this is the most important, you are going to check for errors in your citations. You're going to make sure that your in-text citations and your works cited list are correct. I am going to start being a stickler for citations, so please make sure they are all correct with the resources that I've given you. All right, happy editing!